All right. Welcome back to another week of Man Bunkbed, where we make up the show as we go. That's just kind of what we do. How's it going, fellas?
It's going good. It's as always on my subbed in moments. It's dinner time.
Always.
Gotcha.
The munchiest man we've ever met. Nom.
Why is it, Nolan, that no matter who it is in the third bunk, they're eating? What's the deal there?
It was in the job description on Indeed.
It was. Sorry. I forgot to take that out. I put it in the rough draft as a joke and forgot to delete it.
Yeah, I saw it in the qualifications and thought that I'm going to nail this interview.
We got to do better than that. Okay. We got to do better
Sorry. I'll make sure to proofread better next time.
All right. Look, I am your host at Zach Bradley on Twitter. I've got Nolan in the middle bunk to the right of me.
There you go. You did it this time.
To the left. Nolan is Fat Squirtle on the FantasyFootball.Advice.Network, and that's about the only place you'll find him other than on this podcast.
It's the only social media that matters.
And we've got Josh at Bradley2001 down there who's eating.
Very seductively.
Take slow bites. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I want them to notice that I'm eating cheap noodles.
Yeah, don't slurp. Okay? As long as you're not slurping noodles, we're okay. We can sort it out.
All on budget over here.
All right. Before we jump into it too much, again, we're going to shout out the Fantasy Football Advice Network at their new site, FantasyFootballAdvice.Network. Please go join the community, create an account if you want great fantasy football content, or create an account if you want to create great fantasy football content, or whatever quality of content this is that we're creating. So
the bottom.
Great is subjective, but go check it out. FantasyFootballAdvice.Network. So
this quality is definitely bottom bunk.
Yeah. This is a bottom bunk kind of show. It is.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're 2 weeks in the books on it. How's our fantasy seasons going, fellas?
Well, great. Other than I'm winning in basically every league. I have a dynasty league I'm trying to lose, and I'm still winning. It's a tough life.
Good. Well, there is always a yin and a yang to every situation, and while he's winning, I am losing.
Yeah, it must be nice.
By the way, pretty disappointing there.
I think I am 2-0 in every other league I'm in. So having a good start to the year.
But I'm losing in basketball leagues, which doesn't seem possible.
Those of you out there, Nolan is in his second year of tanking, and he only wins. So
I'm really bad at it. I try real hard. I even took people out of my lineup this week, and I still won. It's a tough life.
He traded away Justin Jefferson and still won this week.
Yeah, it was mostly because I was tired of people asking about him, and I was just ready for it to be over with. I like the quiet life.
So, Josh, what's your excuse? Why are you losing 2 weeks in a row here in every league?
Well, I'm told it's because I'm a Giants fan, and they seem to be good at it, despite the time that they tried to tank and still came back and won. But really my issue seems to be overall execution. I had Aaron Jones in my main league. He obviously didn't play, so I started Antonio Gibson. Trash. Trash.
He has 5 carries in 2 games.
I took him in almost every one of my leagues over Brian Robinson, and boy, what a mistake. But on the lighter side of that, I've got Kyron Williams, and he's money.
Yep.
Money. So we'll see. I made a pretty big trade this week in my main league that matters. I traded Stephon Diggs and Aaron Jones to get Bijan and Darren Waller. And I think I got up on that one.
Well,
sounds like it.
You got over on that guy. Yeah.
Sounds like Bijan for Diggs is what it sounds like. What's the other two?
Waller had a good week.
No, he didn't.
Dude,
He's still bad.
Look at the Giants' offensive players. They, as a whole, Jalen Hyatt had over 10 points. Isaiah Hodgins had over 10 points. Waller had over 10 points. Saquon had over 20. Daniel Jones had like 34. The Giants' offense in the last half looked good.
Nolan, Waller was tight end 4 this week.
That's right, behind the suspects.
So, okay, cool. Well, mine's kind of a mixed bag. in the leagues, I'm 1-1 basically. Big success week 1 after people added their waiver wires, and I trusted in my players. Big loss week 2, so we'll see. Splitting the difference. Week 3 is going to be back on top. So, all right, let's talk about some reactions to the week 2 games. Anybody got anything that was like startling to them on their week 2 stuff?
Startling? If we're going straight to startling, we go straight to Nick Chubb.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's.
Not only was that a dude arguably a top 9 pick in every league ever. He's done. He's done for the season.
Yep.
He might be done for his career, and that injury was brutal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Second time he destroyed that same knee.
Poor Nick Chubb, guys.
Yeah.
So they're going to sign Kareem Hunt, though, right? I mean, clearly.
Yeah. I mean, he was in the facility today, so give it tomorrow. I'm sure he'll be on the books.
Okay.
But if not, Jerome Ford season, though.
Jerome Ford season.
He looked good when he got in the game.
Yeah, that cat was good. All right, I got
they start Ford, though. That's the question.
I've got a surprising week 2. 3 NFC South teams are 2-0.
Yeah, that's still
Falcons,
fucking weird.
Saints, Buccaneers, 2-0.
Are the Bucks the biggest surprise of the season so far?
I don't know. The Falcons and Desmond Ridder probably pretty surprising too.
Yeah.
No,
Not like he's overachieving, but that they somehow won twice.
If I was going to go biggest surprise, it wouldn't be for me. It would be for the people around me who are non-believers. It would be Green Bay. Green Bay's looking good. Jordan Love might be their guy, man.
I was with you all offseason, man. I've been saying it with you all offseason. Jordan Love's going to be it.
Yeah, their offense looks fine. Their defense they're not playing. I read the phrase today. They're not playing complementary football, where one side of the ball is overachieving and the other side is underachieving, and so you lose, right? Rather than underachieving and status quo, or at least everybody's status quo. The defense kind of let them down against a bad quarterback. They got a rushing score at a crucial time in that game. So,
I think my biggest surprise is the Chargers being 0-2. I had really high hopes for them going in this year, and also if you just look at their stats, this last game, Herbert threw for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defense had 5 sacks, and you still somehow lose this game to Tannehill. Not sure how that happens.
Sounds good. Yeah, not only Tannehill, but a running back committee that sprung out of nowhere in Tennessee, where Derrick Henry's basically splitting carries with this rookie running back who doesn't have an ACL, who's really good at football.
Yep.
So we're going on individual player surprises. The Bills' running game had 2 guys with over 20 fantasy points. That's a shocker playing under Josh Allen.
Let's see, James Cook and
Zach Moss.
The other one?
20 points.
Zach Moss, Colts.
Yeah.
Is he?
Wrong team, bud. Wrong team.
I just miss him. The Bills.
So we give Josh 1 a week.
Speaking of those, so Zach Moss was in for 55 and 56 snaps. Till JT comes back, it's Zach Moss's team. It looks like.
Yep. In another running back surprise news, not really surprised with Kyron Williams. He's money, but Raheem Mostert killed it.
That's a great segue into my new segment we're doing this week, boys.
Oh, new segment surprise.
And I'm going to start with Raheem Mostert. So we're going to do, is it repeatable or not, okay? I'm going to give you a running back and some things around it. Or not just a running back. I've got a couple of other positions. And y'all tell me if this is going to be repeatable in week 3, okay? So we'll start with Mostert, Josh, because he was on my list. Raheem Mostert through the first 2 weeks, let's see. He is, I'll go season, points-wise, he's running back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Running back 6 through the first 2 weeks. Just had a really big game in week 2 with 26 points. 25.7 points against New England. So the Broncos struggle to pass rush, right? So if they are struggling to pass rush, this Dolphins offense with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, Mostert might have time. And then there's still no Jeff Wilson, and Devon A-Chain had 1 carry last week. So do we think Mostert repeats what he's done really through the first 2 weeks, but especially last week.
Yes. Yeah, I think this week is a great time to grab him, and he's 78% rostered, only 45% started, and that means that somebody out there is going to get a pretty sweet waiver claim.
One of those is me. He's sitting on my bench in 2 leagues.
Oh, no.
Well, you didn't need him this week, dude. You didn't need him.
No, I did.
Yeah.
You won by a lot.
I'm so tired of your incompetent winning, okay?
Hey, man, look, I'm just here for the chaos, and it just works out in my favor sometimes. Also, the Patriots was a solid defense, and he did it again. It's not like they're a pushover defense.
Agreed. The Bill Belichick defense is always good.
Yeah, so also, the run that they're coming up on their next few games, I feel like is going to lend itself to it also.
Okay. So we're Mostert believers. Repeatable. Yep. Got it. Okay. Let's talk a controversial one. DeAndre Swift. Okay.
Oh,
After
no.
that week, we had 27 points. The guy had 28 carries for 175 yards and a touch. 28 carries. In today's NFL, it's nuts.
Especially with Jalen Hurts.
Well, Jalen Hurts had 12 carries. It's not like he didn't have any.
Kenneth Gainwell is still questionable. So we'll know more later on this week. Downside doing the podcast on Tuesday nights is like we don't have that Wednesday.
We don't get it.
And, they've got those A.J. Brown issues, right, where they're featuring Devontae Smith, but, like, as far as the passing game goes, not really anybody else. So do we think DeAndre Swift repeats?
I'm a DeAndre Swift truther, so yes.
Okay.
You've known me for 2 years. You know I'm always going to be on his side. As long as, mind blanking, Kenny Gainwell is still hurt, DeAndre Swift is starting in my lineups.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. If Gainwell's not playing, I mean, he went from 1 attempt for 3 yards last week to 28 attempts for 175 yards. If Gainwell's not there, Hurts is running a little bit less. Not a lot less, but a little bit. And good Lord, Swift was electric as long as nobody got within a foot of him.
I mean, it's about time they start to run Hurts. I mean, 12 carries isn't that much less, but some less. Injury bug is going around, man.
So I know y'all are repeatable. I think I'm going to go the other way. I don't think he'll repeat this week. And let me tell you, he's playing what was a stingy Tampa Bay defense last week, and it's a similar profile. So Tampa Bay played Chicago and Justin Fields. So while Justin Fields is an inferior passer, he provides very similar rushing upside. And they sacked Justin Fields 6 times. They had a forced fumble. They had 2 picks, touchdown, and they held that offense to 236 yards. So I'm not going to say those offenses are the same. They're not equal, but I think DeAndre Swift finds tougher sledding in week 3. I'm not sure he's going to get 26 points again. So for me, not repeatable on DeAndre Swift. All right, let's go. I'm trying not to do low-hanging fruit on these. Nico Collins for the Houston Texans. Repeatable. Let's see. Week 2, this cat went for 29 points, 28.6. So 29 points. He had 9 targets, 7 receptions, 146 yards, and a touchdown. Through the first 2 weeks, he's wide receiver 6 in PPR scoring. What do we think about Nico Collins repeating?
I don't have a lot of faith in C.J. Stroud, honestly. I know he had a good game. I don't think his stats made him look a little better than he actually looked if you watched the game, though. I don't know if he has it in it to do him again.
What do you think, Josh?
I think it's possible. I mean, they're playing against Jacksonville this week, and, I mean, good Lord, the Chiefs made them look bad, and that's with no one but Kelsey to catch the ball. I like Stroud a lot. I think it's possible. I think you can do it again. I mean, good Lord, who else is throwing it to? I mean, Robert Woods and Tank Dell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I want to look. I want to be like, yes, Nico Collins. I think they overachieved in week 2. He probably is still going to be their lead target, but like you do worry Tank Dell had as much value as he had in the same offense, and then he's still missing so many of his offensive linemen. So Jacksonville got passed on a lot. They let up 399 total yards last week against MVP Super Bowl winning quarterback Patrick Mahomes, but I think they have maybe a bounce-back performance as a defense against this rookie quarterback and this banged-up, empty offensive line. So I like Nico Collins. I just don't think I think it was kind of a rookie thing. I don't think it'll be sustained success.
Yeah, also, they had to lean on it if they were going to get anywhere in that game. Their running game could do absolutely nothing.
Sorry if you heard that loud explosion. That's my dog. He just busted through the dog door. So all right, Nico Collins. Here's a Razorback. I wore my shirt. I knew we were going to be talking about him, or at least I was going to talk about him. So I'm going to drink out of my cup too. Through 2 weeks of the season, Hunter Henry is tight end 2. And he has been dominating. In week 2, he had 17 points on the season. He's got 34 total, and there's a huge gap between the top 2 tight ends and everybody else. So you got Hawkinson at 37, Hunter Henry at 34, and then the next guy is 22 points, and then it goes down from there. So it's already kind of a separating field. In what's an interesting year where Kelsey missed the first week, all the big tight ends missed the first week. What do we think about Hunter Henry through the first 2 weeks? We think that's sustainable, repeatable?
I think mostly it just came down to him just getting that touchdown, though. He tied for most reception on his team, but Gesicki had one less reception as the other tight end. I think he just happened to be the one to catch the touchdown.
Second week in a row, though. 2 touchdowns.
Look,
snap share went up too. They're playing.
Yeah, Belichick likes tight ends, man.
Always has.
Always has. I think that would be a safe way to move forward. Not to mention fantasy-wise, it's so good to get one of those top 4 guys that matter as a tight end. So
right.
A dude that's got 15 plus points 2 weeks in a row. You take a shot.
With you on that. All right, yeah, that's my repeatable. So Hunter, I'm gonna say yes. The problem is tight end is such a fickle position for fantasy, and he can just as quickly, to Nolan's point, have 1 catch for 2 yards. Shout out Freiermuth. He could just as quickly be completely irrelevant and not catch that 1 touchdown. But through 2 weeks, I'm proud of Hunter Henry. Keep it going.
Can I add one as far as repeatable goes?
Yeah.
Something that's been haunting me this year so far. These freaking crazy defense turnarounds. Last week week before last was the Cowboys absolutely obliterating the Giants. This week it was the Steelers. They made Deshaun Watson, who everyone thought last week was coming back. Now they're talking like, no, dude, he's trash. Deshaun Watson's overpaid and he's garbage. Literally a week ago they were like, oh, dude, the Browns might make it, and then the Steelers just beat them up.
Well, TJ Watt.
So I guess it's not necessarily can the Steelers repeat. It's like, who's going to be the next 30-point defense this week? Is it going to be the 49ers?
No. Maybe.
No. Before we move on from the Steelers defense, I heard an interesting stat, and I just can't get over it. So Steelers, historically fantastic defenses. TJ Watt is 28 years old, and he is the franchise leader in sacks as a 28-year-old.
Wow.
Yep. Heard that on the GP show today.
That's wild.
Good Lord. What they have this weekend? 6 sacks?
Yep.
How many of those are TJ Watt?
And he had a touchdown. TJ Watt's insane right now.
Yep.
And no, it's going to be the Cowboys because they're playing Arizona and Josh Dobbs. And they've been overachieving a little bit offensively. But I think that insane Dallas Cowboys defense comes to town. They have yet to let over 215 yards total offense in a game through the first 2 weeks. Yep. Arizona's going to have a tough week.
So you say that. I will say as a counterpoint, the one time during the first week the Giants looked good was running against Dallas. Both Daniel Jones and Saquon in that first drive, which is the only time they ran the ball, looked great. And Dobbs seems to be quite the runner. So not that it made up the difference enough, but just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, because even after that amazing first drive, they only finished with 171 total yards.
Yeah.
Dallas is coming for Josh Dobbs, and he needs to
it's going to be
right
tough.
now.
It's going to be real tough.
He needs to start physical therapy right now.
Interesting note after 2 weeks. Dallas leading the entirety of fantasy football in fantasy points.
Let's go!
Beating out Tyreek and Kirk Cousins by a whole 6 points.
Not a Dallas fan, but I did take them as the defense, and I'm feeling super good about it. Dan Quinn's getting a job after that. Should have got one last year.
Should have, yeah.
Dan Quinn will be hired as a head coach. Put it on the bet board if we have to. He'll be a head coach next season.
You know what? On that take, I've got another one for the fucking board if y'all want to. On that note, Brandon Staley getting fired after this year. It's going to be Kellen Moore's team.
I don't even – okay, so the hot take isn't that Brandon Staley gets fired because that's like –
of course. He should have been fired last year.
Okay, it's that Kellen Moore gets the job.
Kellen Moore gets the job.
I mean, they brought him in. They handpicked him. You know,
they did. They handpicked him. Their offense already is looking a million times better than last year, even after just 2 games.
Yeah.
Like, that team is built to win right now, and they're not going to do it with Brandon Staley. He needs to get the hell out of there.
I tell you what, Nolan, I would only because it kind of segues into my point. I would love Kellen Moore to get that. But their defense is what is underachieving, and what if they brought in Dan Quinn? Just to pair him with Kellen Moore. You know, like if they can get that defense doing it what it's supposed to with Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack and Bill and James, the offense is 58 points in the last 2 weeks. You know, you'll win games with 58 points. You just, you have to freaking get after it.
Also, I feel like we would be remiss to not discuss as far as can they repeat it. Puka and Kyron Williams.
I want to tell you no, but through the first 2 weeks with Cooper Kupp gone, Puka Nacua, insane production for a guy that was in a lot of leagues undrafted in redraft. In Dynasty, he was probably taken but stashed. Mm-hmm. So
he had most receptions by a rookie ever. Like, he got, 20 targets this weekend, which is just an obscene number. I just feel like as long as Cooper Kupp is out, he's going to get them. Because Matt Stafford is known for feeding people.
And I think it's a clear indicator. They just don't like anybody else in the offense. They're not high on Van Jefferson. They're not, the Higbee rumors popping off this year. It's just not it's not true. Like, they're gonna feed Puka Nacua in the air, and then to Josh's secondary point, Kyron Williams. They sat Cam Akers. They're probably going to try and trade him. It's in a running back market that's cheap. They're not going to get a lot for him. But Kyron Williams, Josh, I think both those guys probably can repeat. It's really all their offense has.
Enough.
Let's talk a little bit of injury stuff. Deontay Johnson, IR. But that Steelers offense is still struggling. I mean, It feels like this is a bigger hit than what people might have wanted it to be. George Pickens had that one house call touchdown, 71 yards, and that was like the entirety of their passing offense for that game. So I think Deontay Johnson missing the next 4 weeks is going to hurt the Steelers. But conversely, when he comes back, it's going to be money.
It also just seems like Pickett didn't take that jump that everybody was talking about him needing to take too. Yep. Like, everybody was talking in the offseason, this is going to be the year he's going to make the jump, and he's just doesn't look great, man.
Yep. Next up on that one, Jalen Waddle concussion protocol. So it's it's hard to forecast if they're going to come out of that. The Dolphins especially struggle here.
What is with the Dolphins and all these fucking concussions, man? They're just
I don't know. They're not practicing how to fall right. I'm not sure, but if he doesn't play, Raheem Mostert even more. Tyreek Hill, which you're starting Tyreek Hill anyways, but if Jalen Waddle doesn't start, it's 100% got to get Raheem Mostert. Josh, don't give me that JC, thumbs up. Amari Cooper, groin injury. He didn't play Monday, or he didn't play this past week. Do we think he's going to suit up? Do we think it matters with Deshaun Watson sucking?
Deshaun Watson has just been
he's trash, dude.
I can't with him. After it came out that he was saying it was the Steelers defender's fault that he got 2 face mask penalties, hey man, we know you're good at it, but cut it out with the victim blaming a little bit.
Oh. No. There it is.
I'm just saying.
I know.
Trash human does trash thing. More at 11.
Look, I hate Nick Wright as a Saints fan because he hates the Saints, but I agree with him on his I agree with him on his Deshaun Watson take. I mean, he said, he I forget the show, Undisputed or First Take or whatever it was. He was on there. He said, no, he's not good, and he knows he's not good, and the Browns know he's not good. Like, he's not what he was, and he's not getting back to that. So we have to figure out where his new ceiling is when we evaluate how we're going to play anyone else in that offense. Yep. So Jerome Ford looks great, but if the offense is going to suck because of their quarterback, then he's still going to be a cautious start.
Can we talk about another quarterback who's just not it? It's Justin Fields, man. Mm-hmm. Also, his look trash. My favorite stat I've heard from this weekend. Let me throw another one at you. He has been sacked 10 times this season.
Just
9 of them.
The wheels for legs.
Not even to the good part. 9 of them have come when he's held the ball over 4 seconds. He's not reading defenses and seeing the open man. If you have to hold it for 4 seconds and then get sacked as a mobile quarterback, you've got bigger issues, man. Like,
the game is supposed to speed up, not slow down.
Mm-hmm.
And
so here's my question. I was going to say, do you think that that's pressure on him to not run as much? They're like, hey, stay in there, throw that ball, and then he's just taking that to a new level to prove a point.
Well, I mean, he's still only he's throwing after 2 games at 58% completion percentage, which is
it's not that he's not throwing and he's running it. It's that he's not evaluating quickly where to throw it.
Mm-hmm.
If you look up his highlights right now, and highlights is a strong term. If you look up the cut up shots, it's brutal because there are guys that are wide. I mean, literally, there's guys like standing and waving their hands like I'm right.
Oh yeah, you saw the one Njoku was just sitting there just waving at him, and he just doesn't see him. So I don't know. This got to be a bigger issue because he's just not seeing anything on the field.
They won't give up this year, but they will fire an offensive coordinator.
Oh yeah. No, this might not be his last year, but if he plays like this till the end of the season, they're on the hook for drafting another quarterback if he plays like this all season.
Oh, yeah.
So here's my question. I was going to say on the subject of Debbie Downers, but if you before I change it, Zach, what were you saying?
No, go ahead. Good.
I was just going to say, hey, we're going to talk about some repeatables. Let's talk about how the Bengals are going to maybe repeat losing because they suck this year.
Did you see he may have re-aggravated that injury and he might not even play this week?
If I was Joe Burrow, I would also intentionally re-aggravate my injury.
Boys, we're brainwave linking. Okay, I was gonna move to Joe Burrow on this one, okay?
It's not just him; it's the Bengals as an offense. It feels like. I mean, good Lord, none. Right now, how many people took Jamar Chase 1-2 or 1-1, and 2 weeks in now is like, man, he's yet to get more than 10 points.
Yeah, it's bad.
No, but look, it is a Joe Burrow thing, right? So he signs that contract, but like, it's just another illustration when your quarterback's not playing well. And I'm not saying like he's making bad decisions necessarily. It's clear to Nolan's point that injury is bothering him, and that's limiting how he's playing. He's not playing like himself. And look, he already I don't have the stats. He's got to be the most sacked quarterback in the first couple of years of his career, minus like Andrew Luck, and that's affecting him. So if we get him to a point where he's seeing ghosts, a la Sam Darnold, like it's going to be an issue. So they got to sit this dude. They got to get him healthy. They got to figure out that offensive line. But yeah, Josh, I don't think they're done losing here yet, which is sad because everyone else is healthy.
Yeah,
it's just Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Speaking of quarterback health, go ahead, Josh.
Well, no, the next thing I was going to say is kind of on the topic of taking Chase 1-2 and being absolutely, destroyed by it. Imagine a world where you take Justin Jefferson 1-1 and Jordan Addison sometime in like the 9th round, and 2 weeks in a row have averaged 42 points total.
Add Hawkinson in it. Just do the whole Vikings offense.
You could start all 3 of them.
No.
You could though.
Hey.
Except for Madison. Don't start Madison.
Except for Madison.
He's on the letdown list.
All of you Madison truthers, you lost. Okay, you're wrong.
I need to look it up now. How many points would you have scored if you had Cousins, Jefferson, Addison, Hawk?
So just Addison and Jefferson's 42. All right, so let's add Kirk in there. All right, he's gotten 20 points the first week and 36 the second. So with another 56 points on top of 42.
Yep.
and add in Hawk, who has 11 and then 25.
What kind of scoring are you on right now? Are you on half-point PPR?
Just the league. No, the league.
Oh.
Right. Point.
But yeah, Kirk 37, Justin Jefferson and Hawk 26, Jordan Addison 16, KJ with 12. KJ? Consolation 12. You
could number one offense this year, Vikings.
Yeah, their defense had 6 points. I mean,
you could just play the Vikings this past week, and you could have probably won in most leagues.
Dude, their money. Start them until week 2 of the playoffs.
Yeah. Kirk is, he's not a clutch player, but he is a good regular season guy.
Well, I saw. So he's the best defense he's ever played with has been ranked 17th at the end of the year.
Isn't that weird?
He hasn't had a good other side of the ball. If he didn't have to score 40 points every game, I'm sure he could have won a couple of those.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got 2 more for you. One that's an injury that we'll talk about, and one guy that I've taken in some leagues. We've downed his pieces, but I'm high on him. First is the injury. So through 2 weeks, Anthony Richardson is overachieving. Okay, he's better than advertised, but
is he even playing this week though?
No.
But he ran the ball and he didn't protect himself in week 2. 2 touchdowns. Awesome job rushing it. Did not protect himself. I mean, jogged in and took that hit.
Yep. He didn't finish either week, first or second. He didn't finish them.
Yeah. So, for dynasty purposes, it's looking like a good investment if he can just get the how to play right, as far as keeping himself healthy. Redraft, it's probably still put him on the bench, right? He's just a little bit risky. Josh, you're not big on him next week? You're not big on him at all?
So I like Richardson, but I can tell you that what happened is exactly what every person I talked to so far about him thought would happen. Is he's awesome, but he ran too much. Not necessarily too much, but he ran just enough to get a hit and get hurt, and that is going to be the career highlight for him, in my opinion. Every year this is going to happen. He's going to have an injury history like Lamar and the rest of them, where he's great, he's mobile, he'll get down the field, he's going to take shots, and he's going to get hurt. I worry that'll be his career highlights. He'll be 4 or 5 years in, wondering whether or not he's going to get re-signed because he's been hurt 3 of those 4 years.
Yep, it's going to be the RG3 story. It's going to be the Cam Newton story. It's going to be. I mean, I'm sure I can think of more, but those are the 2 I've got off the top of my head. They just had that one big injury, and they were just RG3 never played again. Cam was never the same after.
Sure.
He's good, but good Lord, you can't literally put the team on your back despite trying.
Right.
Just not like that. He was good, but good Lord.
Good Lord. Hey, speaking of good, but good Lord, can we talk about A.J. Brown?
Oh.
Dude, and it's not his fault, right? Jalen Hurts likes Devonta Smith more.
I think it is his fault. So, Jalen Hurts is playing winning football. And I think yes, Devontae Smith is the guy that's getting it, but conversely, like we talked about earlier, DeAndre Swift had 28 carries.
Yep.
I think Jalen Hurts is interested in winning football, and I think he's a lot less interested in going, you're the number 1 receiver, you need to get yours. And A.J. Brown's struggling with that. And look, he had attitude issues back in Tennessee too. So he's got to get on board with winning the game more than having to get 10 catches and 100 yards.
I don't even necessarily understand the complaint. They have the same number of receptions this year, and A.J. Brown actually has more targets than Devontae Smith.
Mad that week.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of other guys putting the team forward, and then A.J. Brown said, pay attention to me.
Well, I don't know if it's the same this year, but last year he was the only player on that offense that wasn't drafted by that team. I'm not saying that's what it is, but, I mean, it's got to have some effect when you're the only guy that came in afterwards.
Look, he needs to be careful because he is not from Georgia, okay? And that's the only state and football team they cover is the Georgia Bulldogs, okay?
Says the Alabama quarterback.
Hey, other than that. Okay?
Well, even Devontae Smith played at Georgia, didn't they? Or DeAndre Swift.
They adopted them, okay?
Yeah.
You know what? We don't know that. Maybe those guys are from Georgia, okay? We don't know.
I guess that is quarterback Alabama, receiver Alabama. I guess that's what we should have known this was going to happen.
All right. Anything we're looking forward to in week 3? I guess For Cleveland, we want to see what the offense looks like without Nick Chubb, so we're worried. Josh, what do you? I think I know. Josh, what are you looking forward to in week 3?
I'm looking to the Giants showing that level of offensive excellence in the whole game and not the last quarter, and showing upsetting some people in San Francisco. That's what I'm looking forward to. Mark my words. Put it on the board.
Not just offense, by the way. Your defense in the first half of that game, terrible. So, whole team, we need second half Giants whole game. Because first half Giants might get the number 1 overall pick. Okay.
And also, I just need some recognition. I said it at the start. We're going to bring it back again. Stop hating on Vanilla Vic. All right. He's good. He did his best. He's running. He's completing passes.
As long as his line doesn't give out on him again, man.
But that's not his fault, man. We're talking about him as a person, all right? Well, really as a quarterback. I don't care about his personal life. But as a quarterback, he's good.
At his price point, I expect more.
Yep.
I expect more.
I mean, if you look at the quarterbacks who are taken right next to him, it was him, Geno, and what was the third quarterback that was taken right there next to each other, ADP, every draft?
What'd you say, Josh?
Dwayne Haskins.
No. Goff. Jared Goff.
Goff, that's who it was. I don't know. The one I'm excited about, I would like to see the Chargers-Vikings shootout. I'm excited to see 100 combined points. Let's do it.
No, I'm still betting Vikings, though. 100% betting Vikings.
Shut your mouth. Don't say that.
Brandon Staley doesn't know how to win football.
We just discussed the point totals, dude. If I'm putting money on a team to win up to playoff week 1, it's the Vikings.
No, that's a great point. For those of you out there, week 3, you can still stream the Vikings there.
Everyone in Madison.
Because the Chargers
scored
58 points in the last 2 weeks and did not win. So the Vikings are coming for them. Okay, that's a good one. No, that will be a good game to watch. I guess for me, I want to see a continued week 3 Josh Allen. Is week 1 what we're going to get, where you turn over the ball 4 times, or are we seeing normal Josh Allen back from week 2? They're playing Commanders defense that Riverboat Ron's going to have rolling. So let's go Buffalo on that. And I guess for me, the second one would be like the NFC South guys. I know I want the Saints to win. That's clear. But, the other 2 that are undefeated, how are they going to sort out? The Falcons have Detroit and Dan Campbell's squad. It will not be an easy game. I'm not saying they'll win because he's a tough coach, but they do lose a lot of those margin games.
Yeah. While we're on that one, though, if David Montgomery's not there, do you think we're actually giving Gibbs 30 carries, or are we giving it to who came in after Montgomery got hurt? I don't even remember who it was. Reynolds?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's going to be Zonovan Knight.
Is he on that team? Hey, don't you dare besmirch Zonovan Knight.
I besmirched him.
I want Baker to keep being good, but cautiously because I want the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to lose. But they're running up against that Philadelphia Eagles buzzsaw. So I think we'll sort out some of that hierarchy a little bit. All right. I'm good. Josh, you good? Nolan, you good?
Set.
All right, y'all. We appreciate you. This is 3-Man Bunkbed 1.9. That's our 9th episode. Check us out on Spotify. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. We will we'll see you previewing week 4 next week. Thanks, guys.